Congratulations, and thank you for your incredible creative contributions to the city of Albuquerque.
There are 8 awardees this year: visual arts, music, creative entrepreneurship, media arts, mosaic arts, public arts, muralists, all of which are represented this year. We've got young artists from 23 years old to artists who have been creating for many decades.
Mentorship, generosity, collaboration, and community run through the work of all of these incredible creative individuals and organizations.
Albuquerque's art scene is vibrant, growing and attracting more and more energy to our city. And Albuquerque artists and creatives are important contributors to our city's past, present, and future.
Congratulations to Zahra Marwan, prolific and dedicated visual artist, visual storyteller. Zahra brings together narrative, delight, sadness, reality, and dreams all together on the paper. Zahra grew up in 2 deserts, New Mexico and Kuwait, which vary drastically and have many similarities in culture. She studied visual arts in France and continues various pursuits to further educate herself. She currently lives in the Bareilles neighborhood of Albuquerque and works in her studio at the Harwood Art Center, where she incorporates Kuwaiti tendencies into her daily life. Although she spends most of her days creating art, she is a committed collaborator and has worked or collaborated with the National Hispanic Cultural Center, the National Institute of Flamenco Arts, Depictus, Picture Book Makers in England, Circus Luminous, Wisefool, New Mexico, Sharaf Studio, along with Ulam Magazine in Kuwait. Zahra inspires through her discipline as an artist, creating each day, through her visual memories of emigration and family, through her ability to tell her personal stories through art, that in the end, tell all of our stories.
Hello, Zahra. Congratulations on winning the Creative Promise Award. You are amazing.
I always hoped that it would be something that I would do. I never saw anyone doing it full time. I have one uncle who's an oil painter but worked as an electrician on the side. So, I mean, growing up in the suburbs in Kuwait and then in the suburbs in New Mexico, it wasn't really encouraged as a full-time thing or a real viable way to make a living. I usually start by jotting down my ideas. Sometimes I sit for an hour or 2 and just jot everything down, and they're usually very brief, like a sentence or 2, and then I try to compose that visually. Yeah, so it can work together with words and images. I try to make 1 per day. When I've started recently to make slightly larger formats, and those sometimes take 2 or 3 days to make 1. If I don't for a few days, I feel like it'll just disappear or it'll stop and I'll have to find something new to do. I don't know if it's obsessive or paranoia, but I feel better when I make something, yeah, and get whatever it is that's going on in my head out. My parents are both Kuwaiti, culturally, linguistically, but my dad was stateless, so not belonging to any country, and my mom was a citizen. So following the patrilineal laws, I was born stateless as well, and discriminatory laws became worse after Iraq invaded Kuwait. So we made our way here. My dad's younger brother was stationed here with the American Army. That's a really complicated story. He became American first, and we're the only family that followed. So I still have stateless family in Kuwait. I took a box, and just the few people who passed by were so kind and encouraging, and I don't know, it felt so sweet to go there week after week, and every Saturday morning I would feel scared as if it was like an art opening, and I'd meet people who would buy like a print that would say things like, I never thought I'd buy art, or people would tell me what they think. I mean, it was a really sweet one-on-one interaction with so many people every week. I suppose the few months I spent in an art residency in Kuwait, I kept talking about how people in Albuquerque kind of give everything they have to try and live a life of creating art or being artists, and there is a community of people who support them. I mean, it's great to be working as a full-time artist here. A portrait of my dad's mom, who in the early 1900s was in the protests in southwestern Iran and was shot in the leg. She lived a very hard life. She made her way to Kuwait and harbored activists. Her and my grandpa were part of the sweeping group of Iranians who worked as sea laborers. And I have a very tiny grandpa under the tree, since prominence was always given more to men than women. I think it is all twisted together. I worked with a researcher in Kuwait who's writing about stateless people, and she said, "Are you doing this for mental health reasons?" And I was like, I don't know. I thought I liked creating art for the sake of creating art. But in a lot of ways, it does feel like a reclamation of home in a way, or to be like, okay, you don't think I exist, but here I am. Yeah, and I don't know, yeah. It makes me happy.